Hey Battlefielders, today I'm going to talk about a gun that's great, and it's one of these guns that I use when I want to actually try hard. And if you know what tryharding is, it's basically when you play to your absolute maximum and use weapons that are maybe a little bit overpowered to actually get a lot of kills. And this is on my top 3 guns if I want to do very, very well. And I typically would only use it if my team's down, it's not quite as good as the other team, or I just really want to push it pretty damn hard and get me a lot of kills. I'm not one of those people that only use the best weapons. I like to, have a little variety and use quite a few different weapons. But what I really do want to kill just basically everyone in front of me. If I want to go very close range, it's going to be the F2000 for me. If it's close to the mid, I'm going to go some AEK. And if I have a little bit of range, like medium range, I go to the M416. This thing slaughters people, and it's extremely good. And it's not because this gun has incredible damage. It's very standard at 24 maximum and 18 minimum. It's pretty standard for the assault rifle, medium. And it's not because it has an amazing fire rate. It's 750, which is actually a fairly good fire rate if you want to fight at those medium ranges. A little faster is great for close range. A little slower is horrible for close range, but great at far. 750 is not bad. 750 at 800's about perfect for a gun that you want in all situations. At least that's what I think. And as far as the capacity goes, it's pretty standard. You got 30 rounds in the magazine and 1 in the chamber, which most other weapons have. So why is this gun so good? Well, because it balances everything out really well. And you also have a fairly good reload of 2.4 seconds if you have it totally empty, and if you have at least one left, of 1.85 seconds, which is pretty darn quick as far as I'm concerned. And that's fast enough where you don't have to really worry about having a great secondary to back yourself up. You basically duck behind cover and you're already reloaded that quick. As far as the recoil is concerned, you're looking at a little uneven here, but it's not so bad. With the right attachments, you can really make this work. It's uneven, unfortunately, so you're going to be pulling 2 directions, which is not ideal. But again, it's not that bad. That lower fire rate makes it not that bad to actually hit people at range. You're looking at a 0.32 recoil up, a 0.1 recoil left, which is very light, and a recoil right, you're looking at a 0.3, and a first shot multiplier of 2.2. So it's a little bit of kick on that first shot, not tremendously terrible though. Easily handled with the right attachment. And your right is a little higher than you would, like. You'd run just straight up. That's the easiest by far if you want to control your recoil. And unfortunately, you have a little bit to the right. So you have to play with that a little bit, trying to balance that out. As far as hip firing goes, you probably should avoid it in most situations if possible. It's not great at close ranges. Of course, you might get some like that. But at the same time, it's better to aim in, but quite a bit. It's one of the few guns that I almost always do. I know right here, kind of not. But it's not the best. With that fire rate, you often get beat by quite a few other weapons. Now, as far as attachments go on this, you can use any red dot, scope, ACOG, whatever you want to use on it you prefer. That's always a preference. People always say Coyote's the best, and I'd use it quite a bit. Same thing, I also love the Cobra. It's its own personal preference. Don't listen to anybody what's the best one out there. And for my first accessory, I usually go with the laser sight. Again, it's not very good at hip fire. It's not really necessarily needed, but it does help you in the situations where you need to use it. And I guess on occasion, it might mess with somebody's vision, supposedly. As far as barrel goes, the compensator is probably going to be your best bet, just because you have a little bit of pull to the right, not so much left. It's always better to try to eliminate as much of that as you can. Muzzle brake's not going to help you all that much, just because pulling down is pretty easy to do to compensate for the recoil. And the other ones, suppressor, I guess in some situations isn't so bad, but I personally wouldn't use it on this weapon. As far as the underbarrel is concerned, I like to use the angle grip just because that first shot recoil, it does help quite a bit with it. It's not excessive on this weapon, but getting rid of all that you can is pretty nice. And the other ones aren't the best as far as I'm concerned. Some of them are okay, but angled grip by far my favorite with this weapon. Now the way I tend to fire the M416 is like quite a few other assault rifles. I usually use 3 to 4 round bursts, which works best at medium ranges at least. Close range, obviously you're just going to hold the trigger down and hope for the best. But at range, 3 to 4 round bursts do work the best. And you have quite a tendency, at least I do, with this weapon to get headshots, which obviously is exactly what you want to get. It's only technically slightly higher than normal for me. The only other gun I have that I know I have really high on is the AR-160. Again, a slow shooting gun where it's fairly easy to control and aim for somebody's head. But I seem to get more, I wouldn't want to say accidental headshots, but it just works out really well. That sums up pretty much everything about the M416. If you have anything to add, tell me down in the comments, or another gun you want me to review, put it down below. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching my video. If you did enjoy it or found anything informative, I would appreciate if you just smash that like button, and also don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. And right here on the left, I got my M416 review, easily one of the best LMGs as far as I'm concerned now. And I got Ghost Song on the right. It's almost what Super Metroid should have became. You should check it out.